What is good, all of our listeners and viewers? Welcome back to another episode of Games and Groceries. My name is Adam.
And I'm Liz.
And I recorded another podcast right before this. Woo-hoo! We're here with episode 142, where we're going to be talking about, is Game Pass the answer to next-gen game prices? But first, we've got some segments for you. Yes, we do. Mm-hmm. So I did. I recorded a podcast right before this.
You did.
And it wasn't What's the Biz. Nope, it was not. We recorded that yesterday.
Yeah.
I recorded an episode with Adnan Riaz. He's calling it, I don't want to take any credit from him, but he's calling it Strange Cast. It's going to be a Life is Strange podcast. The very first episode is going to be releasing either today as this releases or tomorrow. So keep your eyes peeled on that one. It's a Life is Strange one. We talked all about the Life is Strange 3 reveal. Yes, it did make it into our top 3 gaming news, so spoiler alert on that one. But it was a really great episode. Keep your eyes open for that one. Mm-hmm. Liz, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah?
Chill week at work. My boss, for some reason, let me leave like ridiculously early today.
He did?
So yeah, that's pretty nice. I caught up on 2 of my shows, so that's nice.
Nice.
Doing great.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
We should get the show on the road, though.
Yeah.
So let's get started. But first, before we get started, we want to remind everybody we're on social media. You can follow us on Twitter at Gaming Groceries, or you can follow us individually. I'm at Ace the Grocer.
And I'm at Journey First.
And you can follow us on Instagram, Games Groceries, all one word, where I will share some posts if I feel like it, as well as some questions I will ask you about the discussion on this very show. Wow. We want to hear your feedback. We want to get you involved in a discussion on the show. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, even Facebook if you want to, and you can answer a question I will post, and I will read your answer on the show. You can also join our Discord, the Games Groceries Discord. The links is down below. It's a really great Discord. You can chat with us, chat with me and Liz. You can also chat with the likes of Andrew Orsi, Commander Nikki, Twofer, all these great people. Go check out the Discord. It's a great place. Go check it out. Join us. It's good stuff.
Do it.
And if you're here, if you're watching on YouTube, hi, how you doing? Are you doing okay? Wow, are you excited for Life is Strange True Colors? It's not Life is Strange 3, it's Life is Strange True Colors.
Yeah.
Anyways, if you're watching us on YouTube, definitely subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you know when all of these podcast episodes come out. It's so fabulous if you do that. And leave us a review on all of your favorite podcast platforms, your podcast platforms of choice. Leave a review on there. All right, enough talk. It's time to get the show started. What do you think, Liz?
Yeah.
Let's do it with our first segment.
Movie Minutes.
Movie Minutes is a segment that we talk about the movies that we watched in the past week, whether it be on Netflix, Hulu, or HBO Max. And we like to give you a recommendation or not a recommendation. Here on the Games and Groceries podcast, we have a 5-point scale of how to rate movies. It starts at avoid at all costs, pass, enjoyable, solid, and perfect for us. So this week's movie is actually coming to us from Netflix. It's found on Netflix. There's another Netflix movie that came out. It's kind of a thriller movie, but this one also just released.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix. It's a SYFY channel original movie.
Yeah.
So it's a TV-made movie.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, it's called No Escape Room.
Woo-hoo!
No Escape Room, found on Netflix. Let's go over our final ratings out of that 5-point scale, and then we'll explain why. So let's start with you, Liz.
I gave it a solid.
A solid?
Yeah.
Why?
Cause I honestly, when you had asked me that when I rated it last night after we got done watching it, and I was like, well, it was scarier than any of the movies we picked for Halloween.
For a TV-made movie.
Yeah, for a TV-made movie, and it really, I don't know if anyone has watched the movie Stay Alive. It has Frankie Muniz in it, like right as he was like ending his acting career.
Yeah.
And that movie was just really good, and it really reminded me of that, where it was like a very like underplayed, underrated movie. And so I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. I really liked that. It like got me, it scared me. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I also gave it solid because as we were going through it and as I was asking the question, I wanted to give it, very enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
It is an enjoyable film.
Yeah, it's got some of its like awkward or like
Yeah.
TV moments.
But I ended up giving it solid because solid is, very enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. Solid film.
Yeah.
Let me go over some of my notes, though.
Okay.
So the camera angles, the cinematography of this movie.
Yeah.
Now, it is, I think why you think it's awkward is because it's very to the book. This is a film
It is very
student.
like, yeah.
It's a
somebody's
film
taught,
student.
Like, you want to make it look creepy.
Exactly.
And that's what they did.
Yeah, it's a film student. I don't know who did the camera angles. I didn't look at the credits, but it's very to the books. It's got some great shots into it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But a lot of the dialogue cutscenes, it's just cut very dramatically.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell it's a film student because the the subject is to the right of the screen and a lot of open space on the left.
Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely a lot of stuff to the books there.
Yeah.
But all in all, I thought there was nothing wrong with that. It just, like I said, it's very academic. There's nothing really
Yeah.
creative about it. But I will say that with all this awkwardness and chunkiness, within 10 minutes of the movie, 10 minutes of the film, whoever made this didn't waste any time.
Yeah.
Sets up the characters well,
Yeah.
sets up the tone of the movie well. Let's get right into the creepy factor.
Yep.
And I looked at this TV, I looked up how much time was on.
Yeah.
Within 9 minutes of starting the movie, creepy factor already. Boom. Didn't waste any time.
Yep.
Loved it for that. Now I did, on my second note, while it does have horror movie tropes,
Oh, yeah.
it totally does. It does make you wonder. It does make you actually ponder, if you will, what's going to happen next and what the purpose is here.
Yeah, like where are we going? Where does this end?
Yeah, and not even a way of just like, where are we going with this? It was just like, within each turn. Again, I want to remind everybody here, this is a TV made movie. This is a SYFY channel movie. No Escape Room.
Yeah.
You would agree that there's a lot of horror movie tropes here. A ton.
Yeah, definitely. They've got the typical jump scares.
Yes.
They've got...
You even called a couple outs.
Yeah, there were some I'm like, and then this is gonna happen.
And then exactly what happened.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. I've watched a lot of horror movies, a lot of like modern classic horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
And there was even not on SYFY, but there was a day where my dad and I sat and watched an entire day full of the Chiller channel.
Yeah.
Like, I know these things.
Exactly.
So it did have those like classic things that happen, but it was still good. Like it still got you. Like even like gory death, it's like I knew it was coming, but at the same time I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Like it was still.
Oh, there were some things where I was like, oh, dang.
Yeah. So it was still, even though it was like very tropey, it was still impactful. Like it still did well for the story.
Yes, there was. This was a movie, a type of horror movie where you will talk all the way through, like, oh, don't do that, don't do this.
It makes it more fun though.
Exactly. A good horror movie should make you interact with the movie.
Oh yeah.
That's the thing.
And that's why I like that it was made for TV because you can't do that in theaters.
Exactly. It's what made Until Dawn a great game.
Yeah.
Until Dawn was a horror movie you interact with because a great horror movie is something that you constantly yell at your screen over.
Yeah.
And this is it. For being a TV thriller, though, just a TV thriller movie.
Yeah, we weren't expecting much going into this.
It definitely had its shining moments, though.
Yeah, definitely. It was much better than I anticipated it being.
Exactly. My last note is that it has had some definite intrigue into it. It's not perfect.
Yeah.
It's not a perfect film. It has a lot of TV tropes. Like I said, the camera angles are very to the book. The acting it's a TV movie.
It's high.
It's okay. But all in all, this was a solid film.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it wasn't perfect, but I enjoyed myself by the end.
I enjoyed it. I'd watch it again.
Yeah, totally. I would watch it again. And that's the thing.
Like,
okay,
I would make this a Halloween staple.
Yes, I don't want to say it, but I don't want to give any spoilers, but there's enough here where you could watch it again.
And catch on.
And just catch
new
on.
things.
Yes. So, like, kind of like solving the mystery of it. But I very much enjoyed this. Thought it was a very enjoyable film. Almost, you could say, a solid film.
Yeah.
So those are our brief thoughts on the movie that you can find on Netflix. It is a sci-fi original TV movie. And it does have in Netflix, it does have that like go to black screen.
We're like, oh,
Commercial. Like there are commercial spots. There's no commercials, but
it's like blacks out and jumps to the next scene. I'm like, commercial break.
So it is still set up like a TV movie, but I really enjoyed this film.
I really like this movie.
I liked it. Yeah. Not perfect.
No,
it's
not
solid.
perfect, but it's definitely solid.
Yeah. So again, our brief thoughts on No Escape Room. You can find it on Netflix. Go check it out for yourself. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
If you like thriller, horror.
Yeah, it's definitely it's got horror elements.
But it's mostly thriller.
Yeah, mostly thriller.
Yeah, so definitely check it out for yourself. But that brings us to our next topic, all about video game news. So let's just go right into it. Let's go into it with our second segment.
Top 3 gaming news.
I swear these fans don't even understand like how much work I put in. Oh, hi, how you doing? The top 3 gaming news is the gaming news that we saw in the past week, and we like to rank it 3, 2, 1, just to give you a condensed version of what's going on in the gaming industry. Loyal fan base. Ha!
What was that noise?
I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. Like off camera, I was like, Liz, I'm gonna do a bit real quick.
And I'm just like, okay, and I'm sitting here, and you're just like saying, I'm like, where is he going with this?
I don't know.
And then
Top 3 gaming news. Top 3 gaming news, everybody. We got a couple things to talk about. There was one specific thing that we really want to talk about. So I'm just gonna jump right ahead. There's some interesting news pieces here. So let me get right into it with number 3 gaming news, which is about Jade Raymond, which before I even show the PowerPoint slide, Jade Raymond, if you don't know, was formerly with Stadia, with the first-party studios. She was trying to put out a first-party game for Google Stadia. And then Phil Harrison was like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
And he kind of killed the whole dream of first-party games for Stadia, leaving behind Jade Raymond, who is a veteran in the industry, a big part of the Assassin's Creed franchise. So Jade Raymond landed a new job, and she actually made her own studio. Not only that, a own studio called Haven, and it's being backed by Sony.
Woo!
So Jade Raymond, by the way, Women Empowerment Month,
Women's History Month,
Women's History.
Good job.
Women's History Month. It's great. She's going into it.
What are you laughing at?
I don't know. I just felt like an idiot. Like Women's Empowerment Month.
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay. You're doing good, babe.
Thank you. But yeah, so it's fantastic. She actually landed a job. Not just landed a job, but started her own career.
She made her own job.
She made her own job. So again, she is actually going on a new studio that's actually being backed by Sony, and most importantly, she's actually making a brand new IP for PlayStation.
Ooh.
So there's a lot that this article talks about in terms of, making her own and all that. But there's one specific quote I want to read that's actually from Jade Raymond. The article is linked down below if you want to read it for yourself. But I want to read her quote right here. Jade Raymond says this: "It's been a strange and difficult past 12 months. The pandemic, social injustice, and job elimination have impacted many of my closest friends, family, and coworkers. All of these factors, paired with the inability to see friends and family face to face, lulled me into kind of a self-reflective cocoon where I had to ask myself some tough questions about what really matters."
Mm-hmm.
So Jade Raymond goes into it, and she could have picked any career at this point.
Yeah.
It's interesting, when she got out of the cocoon, it was still in the games industry.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great thing, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting by the way she's been treated by the games industry, especially by Stadia.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting that out of that cocoon and self-reflection, she goes not only back into it, but starts her own studio.
Yeah.
Like dedicating all of her time to this. So what do you think about this news?
I think it's great. I really hope she makes something that I'm interested in playing because I would really love to support a woman-owned
Yes.
company.
Mm-hmm.
So I really it gives me hope that she's making something for PlayStation because PlayStation is more known for their narrative-driven games, which is why I have one.
Yeah.
So it makes me kind of excited, and I think it just plays very well with what we talked about last week.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, yes, super excited.
So it's very exciting news, very brief news, but I like that quote. What she said is that it's been a very tough 12 months. You really have to self-reflect about what really matters, and what she came out of it was making her own studio by her own rules that's backed by Sony.
Which is awesome.
That's great. So be on the lookout for Haven. Just be on the lookout. I don't know if they have a Twitter account or not. They probably do.
I'm assuming they do.
Yeah. But good for Jade Raymond. You're going to follow them, aren't you?
Yep.
So let me talk about the number 2 gaming news.
Yeah.
And that's about PlayStation again. Wow, we're on a roll here.
PlayStation's doing great.
PlayStation. So Sony has actually purchased and acquired EVO. I think it's EVO, because it stands for Evolution Fighting Game Tournament, which is actually the largest fighting game tournament in the world that has the likes of Super Smash Brothers involved, and Tekken, and Street Fighter. This is a large. You're looking up still.
Yeah.
Did you find it? Yeah, I don't think there's a Twitter account yet.
Yeah.
Jade Raymond has it, but yeah.
Yeah, I was looking up hers to see if she tagged that one, but she doesn't have a tag, so I'm assuming follow her.
Yeah, go ahead, follow Jade Raymond.
Bam, done.
But yeah, so they have purchased the rights to EVO. We're going to call it EVO. And this is really crazy because last year EVO was actually canceled in 2020, not because of COVID. Maybe that played a little bit of a part, sure. But the former CEO of EVO was actually heavily alleged for abuse.
Lovely.
Yeah, so there was a lot of allegations according to that. I'm only calling it an allegation because I'm not sure if it's in the court of law that it was actually that actually happened, but it was a thing. And so they kind of shut down things. And then PlayStation got involved with RTS and acquired EVO and said, hey, we want to bring this fighting tournament back because Sony is actually quoted by saying that 1.1 billion hours have been logged in to fighting games in just 2020 alone.
Wow.
So Sony's very much acquiring a very high acquisition right here.
Yes.
So again, they're leaving it to their own. We're just acquiring it. We want to organize. This is PlayStation talking. We just want to do it. Now, here's the thing. I did mention before, it is on the likes of the fighting games such as Tekken and burp game, Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, Nintendo doesn't like to let other people borrow their IPs. And since they're owned by Sony, and also the former CEO was alleged towards abuse, they're not looking so hot to do it. So I want to read this quote, and then I'm going to discuss that. So this is coming from Mark Giulio, who has to say, as for other games, EVO business developer Mark Giulio says, EVO is still open to all platforms, and that PlayStation RTS are allowing Giulio's team to work with its community of support to support fighting games as a whole. This, though this doesn't really concretely answer whether games from first-party developers like Nintendo Super Smash Bros. Will appear at future events. Nintendo was actually quoted by saying, I don't have the quote in front of me, but they were basically saying that they will assess EVO, they will look into other fighting games tournaments, but they're not really looking towards putting Super Smash Brothers into EVO.
Yeah.
So it's a double-edged sword in saying that EVO's back. People who are enjoying fighting games are going to get back into it.
Yeah.
Super Smash Brothers not sure. So that's really all I have to say about it.
Yeah.
So really good news.
Yeah.
Let's just jump into it. Let's just jump into the number one gaming news, which is about Life is Strange. Woo!
Yay!
If you want to hear more about my thoughts on this game, I recorded an entire podcast with Adnan Riaz called Strange Cast. So check out that if you want more detail into this. But yes, Life is Strange True Colors has been revealed. It's happened. This is actually developed by Deck 9 Studios, which is formerly known for Before the Storm, Life is Strange Before the Storm. So this is not Life is Strange 3. This is a kind of spin-off, but within the same timeline, sort of kind of deal.
Yeah.
Called Life is Strange True Colors. And it's going to be released September 10th, which is a far way away. Far-ish.
Far for us.
With all the chapters releasing all at once.
Yeah.
It's going to be open for exploration. It's going to be an open hub area, a lot like Blackwell Academy. It's going to be set place in a town in Haven that's in Colorado.
Yes.
Made up place, though. There's no release schedule on the episodes. It's just going to release all at once. I'm just reading through my notes here, and then we'll discuss it. Deck 9 is involved with the story. Erica Mori, interesting enough, she is voicing and motion capturing.
Yeah.
The main character, Alex Chen.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. And the power will be a psychic empathy.
Yes.
So that's how we get the true colors. You get to see like an aura around people that might be involved. And most importantly, if you buy the Ultimate Edition, you're going to get the remasters for Life is Strange 1 and Before the Storm.
Ooh.
You're going to get the remasters of that if you buy the Ultimate Edition for $80.
We should buy that for the PlayStation, so then we have it on the Xbox and the PlayStation.
Or we buy it for both.
We're going to spend $160.
For Life is Strange, yes. Oh, sure. Also, most importantly, a little side note, Steph is back! Woohoo! Yay, Katie Benz, hooray!
Yeah.
Anyways, so give me your thoughts. I already spewed my thoughts in the other podcast, so spew your thoughts about this.
I'm super excited. The town that this game is based in gives me very much Tell Me Why vibes. Like the small town, everyone's like there and knows each other, and it just gives me like really like, even though it's like a sad story, go turn the camera back on.
Yeah.
Even though it's like a sad story, it's like it just has like really chill, good vibes. It's exactly what I think we need in this past year, is just like a good, I mean, by the time this comes out, it'll be almost 2 years with all this crap. But, whatever. I'm going to ignore that part. But
by the time the game comes out.
Yeah, by the time the game comes out, it'll be almost 2 years with all this pandemic stuff.
Yeah.
But I just think it's good. It's like what we need. I'm just so excited. I'm like really curious how this power plays out and what it does. And the more they build on this timeline, the more I wonder if we're ever going to get an episode of figuring out how they all got these powers.
Yeah, well, here's the other thing. Oh, I forgot to say this in the episode. Well, you're hearing it now. If you're joining us from Adnan's podcast, Strange Cast, now you're here. Here's the other thing. It's all relating to death. Okay, so Life is Strange 1, Max discovered her powers, or discovered it after she saw Chloe get shot. Bang.
Yes.
By the way, spoiler alerts for all the...
If you're watching this, why haven't you played Life is Strange yet, though? It's your fault.
And then we all know that in Before the Storm, it was actually Rachel who had the powers. Okay, let's just make something clear here. Rachel was the one with powers. Okay.
I don't think anyone had powers.
Fight me on Twitter at @AceTheGrocer. Rachel discovered her powers after finding out the death of a marriage. Okay. Anyways, and then we find out in Life is Strange 2 how Daniel got his powers by watching his dad die.
Yeah.
This one, the only time we got to see the aura power was after the funeral.
But when she was telling someone else about it, she made it seem like this has been around for a while.
I watched the trailer again, like maybe like 3 other times. I thought that too. And I think the wording kind of sounds like it, but she might have had it in episode 1, and that might be her saying in episode 4. Like, I've had it for a while now.
Maybe.
You know?
That's true. That is possible.
So, like, later on in the game.
Possible. I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
But yeah, we don't see it until the funeral. That's the only time we get to see the aura, the empathy thing, is after her brother dies.
Yeah.
So there's that. But we get to see these powers after people die, which Rachel in Before the Storm was the one with powers. Fight me on Twitter. But yeah, so any other thoughts? Anything else? I already spewed my thoughts.
Yeah, I'm just super excited.
What do you think about Steph coming back?
Really excited about that. I think that's really great because you didn't really you got to talk to Steph in Before Storm, but like she wasn't like a main character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Would you agree or disagree that Katie Bence is a queen?
Yes.
It's just like not even agree, disagree, just like yes.
I don't know.
I agree.
I agree.
Yeah.
Does that make you happy?
Yeah, it does. Not just yes.
But yeah, I have so many thoughts and I'm super excited. And I thought of a way. I'm like, it'll be because usually we have to like take turns playing the game. But if we're gonna get it for both the Xbox and the PlayStation,
yeah, because we hate money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, especially since it's coming out like right after we plan on moving. So
yeah,
you
true.
know, we'll have tons of money.
Yeah.
But if we do get it for both, then what we can do is we can play it at the same time, like in separate rooms.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
That'd be so fun to like just be able to like yell through, like not yell at each other, but like, you know, like yell to each other and talk about like where we are and like, oh, did you see that? Oh my God. That'd be so fun. I'm so excited.
Yay. But yeah, moral of the story is that we're very excited.
Yeah.
We hate money.
Yeah.
And you should listen to Strange Cast with me and Adnan Riaz if you want more details. But it was a really fun episode. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even trying to hype up the show. I think that episode was probably the most fun pilot episode I've ever been a part of. So, and I've only been a part of 2 pilot episodes.
Yeah. Well,
So-
What's the Biz? I don't think was meant to be fun. If that was fun, that'd be weird.
Yeah, that was not a fun pilot. No, it wasn't supposed to be a fun pilot.
No.
So
anyways.
But again, that's Liz's thoughts on any other thoughts. Any other things you were thinking about, theories?
I have only seen it once and I was at work.
Yeah.
I was at work when I watched it, so I didn't really get a chance to like analyze it enough to get any deep thoughts. Maybe I'll rewatch it later.
But you're very excited for it.
Very excited.
So that's Liz's brief thoughts on it. So that's the top 3 gaming news. Again, if you think that EVO was more of a topic point than this is our top 3 gaming news, okay?
This is our number 1 forever.
Forever and ever.
Until the next one comes out.
Yeah, high five. There we go. Jeez. Again, that's our top 3 gaming news. Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below about all of this. Jade Raymond starting her own studio in Haven. What do you think about that? Are you going to be following up with it? Do you think it's going to be a flop? It's not. Just a spoiler.
Nope.
What do you think about that? PlayStation buying Evo. Do you think Smash Bros. Is ever going to come back to it? Do you think Nintendo's just going to rip it away? Do you think it's a good move by Sony? Write your thoughts in the comments down below. And Life is Strange, True Colors. Just what are your thoughts? Just what are your thoughts? That's it. That's all it is. Write it in the comments down below. It's time to go to our last segment of the show. We're going to be talking a little bit about Game Pass.
Yeah.
So me and you, we're going to have a little discussion, maybe about the prices about games. And I just want to discuss it a little bit with you about finances.
After we just said we're going to spend over $100
I like to
on
save
Life is
money.
Strange.
I like to save money for games such as 2 Ultimate Editions of Life is Strange.
Yeah.
Just hate money.
Yeah.
So let's just talk about it. Let's just go into it with our final segment.
Coffee time.
Every single week here on the Games Groceries podcast, we like to have a little discussion about the gaming industry. Whether we about female gamers or game preservation, we just like to have a conversation for the next half hour or so.
Yeah.
We'll keep it kind of brief with this one, but I kind of want to discuss about Game Pass bringing a ton of value to a lot of gamers, especially now that the Bethesda Xbox deal has come to fruition, and they said that a lot of future games for Bethesda are going to be, exclusive to Game Pass. And, Octopath Traveler coming in. There's a lot of value behind this. So I do want to ask, next gen is here. Okay. I want to set this up. Next gen is here. And 2K Games, the president of 2K Games, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he said that gamers are actually ready for a $70 game, it seems like. So before we jump into the value of Game Pass, with games jumping up to $70, are we actually ready for a $70 game? Are we actually ready financially for that? Liz, what are your thoughts on that?
No.
Okay, well, moving on. What do you think, though?
$70 is a lot, especially this past year when people don't have jobs or are taking jobs that are much lower than they can afford. And it's 70, even before all this, to me, $70 is a lot. I don't spend money on myself on a regular basis. When I do, I buy it like on clearance, on sale, or from a thrift store. Yeah. Like, I just don't, like, even if we had all the money in the world, I don't like spending money on myself. I would not spend $70 on a pair of shoes, let alone a video game. Yes. In my opinion. No, like, it has to be like the most amazing video game ever for me to be like, that deserves $70.
Yeah, his argument was that for the amount of game you're getting, for the amount of product you're getting, he's saying that $70 has to be the price point. And I get that on the business standpoint.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Because you pay for what you get. But that's not always the case. Yeah. Because here's the thing about that. By making a statement that all games going forward into next gen have to be $70, that's not necessarily saying that you're going to pay for what you get. Because that's like saying... That would be like saying Subway, right, is now bumping up their $5 foot long to a $10 foot long, right? It's like you're getting the product you make, right? Well, that's not a good example because like most actual good hoagies are $10, you know? Yeah. But that's like saying like a good sandwich will cost $10, $15. Let's say $15.
Or like when you go to a fancy restaurant, you get like a $25 burger.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So should all burgers now be $25?
Exactly.
It doesn't make any sense for what he's saying. I do get it on a business standpoint that games are actually getting a lot bigger in scale and a lot more teams to make those games. Yeah. I get that. I do. I really do understand. But at the same time, to say that gamers are ready to pay $70, they're not.
Like you're speaking for the masses here, and the masses vary in this industry.
They do. Yeah. And that's the thing, is that we're not ready for a $70 game. Yeah. That comes into services, right? Streaming services. Yeah. This is my next point, is that a lot of times, right, with movies coming out, right? You don't have a lot of time to watch a movie or get this or that. Renting, that's how Netflix came in, right? Yeah. You don't have the money to do this, so Netflix came in with that. Yeah. So I'm just fast forwarding here to my actual point here. Yes. This isn't about streaming movies, right? Yeah. This is about streaming video games. The movie industry, in TV series, right, have way too many streaming services.
Oh, yeah.
Way too many. You got your Netflix, you got your Hulu, you got your HBO Max. That's what we do for Moving Minutes. Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, right? That has now translated into video games. Yeah. And I think that's an okay thing when we're talking about, do we really want to pay $70 for a game, or would we rather pay a service to get those games, day one? Yeah. But now you're getting on the likes of Ubisoft Plus, EA Play, and even Luna, Stadia. Yeah. And we're going to be talking about Game Pass in just a little bit. PS Now. We're now kind of teetering into movie streaming services where there's just too many that you're ending up paying more than $70 a month just to play these games. Yeah. And I need to ask you, is this enough to answer? Is there too many to purchase? What do you think is worse, paying $70 for a new game or paying for streaming services?
I feel like paying $70 for a game is still worse because that's $70 for one game. Right. Even when you're buying the Ubisoft one, you're getting Ubisoft games, not one Ubisoft game for that service. And if you're spending $70 on streaming services, that is still a whole chunk of multiple games for $70. And not $70 for one game. Yes. So I still think buying a $70 game is worse than having and spending money on 10 different video game streaming services.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. And that's the thing. It kind of teeters a line there. What would you rather spend your money on?
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of streaming services or one $70 game?
Yeah.
And like you said, now it always depends on the game too.
Oh, definitely.
Is it going to be a game that you absolutely fantastically adore that you'll never ever stop playing? What I'm trying to say is that is the game Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 Remaster that $70 game that you purchase?
Yeah.
The answer is yes. That is always worth it over the streaming services. When in doubt, play Tony Hawk. But my point is,
Gotcha.
yeah, it is a saying. I believe a shaman once say it. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, but but there is a point where it is too much.
Yeah.
It's just way too many streaming services to just go out and purchase, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to get into Game Pass a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And why I think personally Game Pass is the answer behind most these game services and next gen prices.
Mm-hmm.
Now Game Pass is coming in and they're actually putting a lot of heavy lifting, giving value to gamers.
Yeah.
When it first started, it seemed just like another streaming service, right? It seemed like another game service where you pay $10 a month, and most of the games that came out, I already played before.
Yeah.
And there was a good collection on there, but I remember when I first saw, like, this is a great package
Yeah.
for someone who's never played Xbox before.
Yeah.
Got an Xbox, boom, get Game Pass. I think it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're at the point, I want to say it's like 4 years later. I think it came out in 2016. I might be wrong.
Wow.
I might be wrong.
Well, that would make it 5 years.
5 years. It's coming up the 5-year point. Now it's almost becoming, this is now the answer for next gen.
Yeah.
And here's why. Not only is it bringing a ton of value, so if you're paying $15 a month,
Yeah.
you're going to get Game Pass Ultimate, which gives you Game Pass on console, Game Pass on PC, Game Pass on xCloud, which means streaming on your phone,
Mm-hmm.
and, Xbox Live, the internet service.
Yeah.
That's cool. Great. But you're getting 3 different platforms,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm holding up 4 fingers. 3 different platforms, right? For $15 a month.
Yeah.
That is your gaming spending money for the month.
Mm-hmm.
If you spend $15 on games,
Yeah.
right? During the month, you're going to go overboard, right?
Yeah.
But with $15 a month, you're going to get all hundreds of these games. We're talking Octopath Traveler. We're talking Bethesda games. You're talking Gears of War. You're talking about Descenders. You're not talking about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 Remaster because that hasn't made it on Game Pass yet. But even more so, they have now invited in, I said it before, Bethesda is now coming into the mix. They've just announced that EA Play, that streaming service. So now you don't have to buy EA Play anymore. It's included into Game Pass on console and now PC.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually rumored that Ubisoft Plus will be coming into Game Pass.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, am I overhyping this? Am I being an Xbox fanboy? Or is collecting all of these like all of these streaming services into one Game Pass for $15 a month? Let me ask you 2 things on this. Am I overhyping this? And what is the highest you would pay for a streaming services that had all this package? $15 seems too low, but what do you think?
So I definitely don't think you're overhyping it. I completely agree that it's better to have them all in one place.
Yes.
And one payment coming out of your bank account instead of like 10 or 20 like at different times of the month. So one place I think is so much better. And I honestly keep thinking about that with the amount of TV streaming services that keep coming out.
Yes.
It's like, can we just put them all in like one place? And then I make a joke to myself like, that was cable.
Yeah, really.
And we stopped doing that. But again, that's the thing. Like, if we could just all have it in one place and I can just have one payment a month and I get everything that my little brain can think of, like, that would be perfect. And I think, and that's what Game Pass is doing. And on top of that, even if the games, like you said, Tony Hawk isn't in there yet, you're still saving money because you're not buying Tony Hawk plus all those other games you wanted to try. You're not paying $70 to try a game that you don't know if you're going to like.
Exactly.
You're going to pay $70 for Tony Hawk, but then $15 for all the other ones you wanted to try or the ones that you wanted to buy and is free on Game Pass.
Exactly.
So even if you buy 3 $70 games in a month, you're still going to be saving money.
Exactly. And that's my point. I want to say I don't think Life is Strange is on Game Pass anymore. It once was. I don't know if it is anymore. But that's the thing. Like, you could try games. And I think that's your point, is that for $15 a month, I can try all these games. Maybe with that $15 a month, I only play one game, right?
Yeah.
But if I played that one game, guess how much it costs? Probably more than $15.
Yeah.
You know? And I get to try multiple different games.
And say you hated it, then it would have been a waste of $60, $70.
Yeah.
And for another example, like for us with the movie and TV streaming games, we stopped buying movies that we haven't seen because we don't want to collect all those DVDs and then have like 20 that we never watch because we don't like it.
Yeah.
So that's why streaming services are good for us. Why we buy like the higher end movie streaming, because then we can watch those movies that we want to watch, and it doesn't matter because we're not paying for a movie that we end up not liking. We can watch it, and then if we really like it, then we can buy it.
Right.
So it's like, it's the same thing with Game Pass. You can play a game that you've wanted to play, but you don't want to spend the money on. And then if you love it, go ahead, buy it. No one cares.
And
but if you hate it, you're not wasting money.
And the other thing about Game Pass is that if you really did like the game and you want to purchase it, let's say it's a game that's leaving Game Pass offers you discounts on that game.
So there you go, saving money already. Saving money by not buying it physical, saving money by buying it from Game Pass.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So that's the thing, is that a lot of people are kind of upset that they have to, buy into another streaming service, right, for Game Pass. And I'll get on that in a little bit, because I did ask you on social media, and even on the Discord, and a lot of you are pretty skeptical of Game Pass. And I don't think it was marketed correctly. I don't think people really understand the power behind Game Pass. But we're talking about a Game Pass account that's for Ultimate $15 a month. And you get it for console, all these games.
Yeah.
You're going to get it for PC. And you're going to get it on your phone. And it gives you so many options to do this. And the other argument is that saying like, oh, well, I don't really like Xbox, blah, blah, blah. And I get you. But my other argument is that I hope that Phil Spencer someday gets it through to PlayStation and Switch.
Yes.
Like, really, think about that. You got one Game Pass subscription, not only for your Xbox, your console, your PC, your Xbox, your PC, your phone, but also your PlayStation and your Switch. $15 a month, and you got it on 5 different platforms.
Yeah, like make it a universal thing where it'll have Xbox games and PlayStation games. And even if you want to make it so you can only play the Xbox games on the Xbox.
Sure.
Like, do that. That's fine.
Or you only play on the Switch games like Cuphead and
then but that could also open doors for more universal games that are on all the consoles.
Third-party games,
like ones that might not have ended up on Nintendo or might not have ended up on PlayStation.
Yeah,
those can open up to those through Game Pass and only on Game Pass. Like, you're not going to be able to get a physical disc for PlayStation, something like that.
And
that'd be great.
And a lot of people who are upset that Xbox Game Pass has all the Bethesda games now, like, on PlayStation. If it was on PlayStation, you start getting it through Game Pass.
Yeah.
But you now have it through PlayStation.
Yeah.
For me personally, I think when we're talking about the $70 game of next-gen prices, we're talking about a station. So you didn't answer my second question.
Yeah.
I think the highest I would go, if Game Pass asked me for $25 a month.
Yeah.
I think that would still be worth it, because, again, if you think about it as your gaming budget for the month, you can only spend $25 this month on video games. That's your gaming budget. And I think people should really think about it like that. That's your gaming budget for the month. And for $15 a month, that's not a bad budget.
Yeah.
And if you want a game that's not on Game Pass yet, you can still buy it.
Yeah.
But it's just like, if
you're someone who doesn't have like big games that you just kind of play like casually, you just kind of like sign on and play whatever's there. Yeah, that's fine. That makes Game Pass even more valuable to them.
So I actually want to go into social media answers now. I want to hear from you. If you follow us on Twitter, at Gaming Groceries or Instagram, Games Groceries, all one word, or even Facebook. And the Discord, follow us on the Discord. Join our Discord. It's in the description down below. I will ask you a question, and I want to bring you in on a discussion here. So we have from Instagram, I asked, how much value do you think Game Pass brings? Nick DiPaolo, who is a friend of the show, has said, so much that I decided that a Series X will be my main console to enjoy with a better boost. And that's the thing, is that Game Pass will offer you boosts in games. On Series X, Series X, you're pretty much getting a Game Pass machine. Yeah. Right? And even Series S. Yeah. So these games are coming out on Game Pass, and they already have an FPS boost with Xbox's technology, and now you have access to so many games. So Game Pass brings so much value that he decided that this is the console of my choice. Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Not really. I mean, I agree. That's a great reason to get an Xbox.
I mean, really, I do say that, like, it is a great reason to get an Xbox if you're just using it for Game Pass. That's a fantastic reason.
And the thing is, I think that the other thing people are missing is that there are a lot of PC gamers that can get this. You don't need to have an Xbox. You can get it and then play it on your PC. You can play Xbox games on it. Bam, done.
I was just seeing if there was anything on Facebook. There is not. So I'm going to move right into the Discord. There's a couple answers on the Discord. And a great answer by Andrew Orsi. So I'm going to go into this. And I asked you on the Discord, how much value do you think Game Pass brings? First, and I'm going to read Commander Nikki's updated answer, because at the end of her first answer, she said, yes, but depending on how it works, probably not on everybody. I do like the idea of Game Pass on PlayStation, though, as you mentioned in the last episode, but she didn't understand. My goodness, she didn't really understand how Game Pass works. So I explained again. So Game Pass gives you the option to download games on console and even PC, and offers streaming on other devices through xCloud. So it gives you both the options to download or stream, and gives you access to EA Play and rumored to bring in Ubisoft Plus for console and PC, like you said. Yeah. So then Commander Nikki said, like, I'm going to reword my answer now. So her new answer is, so I'm personally a PlayStation gal. You can say a peasant if you like, Adam. You are a peasant. No, Commander Nikki.
Adam.
No, you're a treasure. You're a gem.
Bad Adam.
Peasant. And for PS Now, for example, is not for me. PS Now being a streaming only kind of Game Pass, sort of. Not really. Not because of the games offered, but because the way it works. Many games are streaming only, so with my bad internet, I can't play them. Game Pass, on the other hand, sounds great, especially now with all the Bethesda stuff being there and added. And tell me why. Everyone go check out Games Groceries Roundtable discussion episodes on that. Yes, you should. Yeah. So the games offered and the pricing, it's a very good offer in my eyes. And it's something for everyone because it doesn't rely on streaming from games in the cloud. So I definitely am waiting for Game Pass to drop on PlayStation. I really like the idea you had about it on the last episode. Yeah. And yeah, I think it should drop on PlayStation because it is marketed as Game Pass. It is Xbox Game Pass. It does have the Xbox logo on it, but they dropped Xbox Game Pass from the images. Just Game Pass.
Which shows that they are really open to having this being a universal gaming platform. And that's awesome. And I mean, we've been talking about this forever, saying how Xbox is very gamer friendly. Yeah. They want everyone to have access to video games, no matter what you play on or anything. And I love that. I think it's great. And I think PlayStation should just get over themselves. Even though I love PlayStation. Yeah. They need to get over themselves.
And that's the thing, is that I think because we're talking about this is the answer, I think it needs to drop on PlayStation and Nintendo before that price increases. Yeah. Not Game Pass's price, but the price of a $70 game just increases more and more. Put Game Pass on there to give PlayStation the option, because you're given the option to download games, not to stream the games, but download games onto
Yeah.
PlayStation, download the games on Nintendo. Yeah, you're talking about storage space, but it's better than just streaming, and it's better than paying $70. And I want it for all gamers out there.
Yeah.
You know, because it is such a great value for what it offers.
Yeah.
And so Volt Supreme has to say, though, I don't have a console that was made within the past 10 years, but one thing I do like that may not be relevant is the Epic Game Store, an app for PC, gives out a free game every week or two. I've got some really good games out of that, but yeah, even if I could get it on PC, I'm not interested. It sounds like it's well in line with the way of the future, though. And that's the thing. I think a lot of people are thinking that this is different. It's not like Epic Game Store giving away free games. It's not a free game. It's just you're going to get all access to these games.
Yeah.
It's a lot like Netflix.
Yeah. And that's how we described it. We had another episode like talking about something like this, and that's what we called it. We called it Netflix for video games.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is that it's just a Netflix for video games where $15 a month or just $10 a month.
Yeah.
You can get Game Pass for PC separately for $10 a month. Separately for $10 a month. And you get access to all of these PC games, right? Yeah. And you're going to get access to some that aren't included on console, like Fez, Microsoft Flight Simulator, some other games I can't think of right now. But yeah, you're going to get great PC games for $10 a month.
So they're already doing what I said. If they put it on PlayStation, they're already separating. Well, these games are available on PC.
Yeah.
But so I mean, it's so easy. If PlayStation and Nintendo would just agree to it, it'd be so easy and so cool.
Exactly. And I think that a lot of people are just like, they're kind of not sure about it. I think you should try a free or a $1 trial to Game Pass on PC. You don't like it, you don't like any of the game catalog, or even just go on Xbox's website, go on Game Pass for PC, just look through the titles and be like, wow, I'm going to get this all for $10 a month?
Yeah.
That's great. And so then Absolute Prodigy has to say, so I've used PS Now and had great internet connection. Even that was a little rough to use, as I would get random input lag. I haven't used Game Pass, but I considered it loads of time. Lag isn't all there, but there isn't games that I would want to play on there, and I never had an Xbox and never had games like that offered to me. Sorry, Halo fans. I am considering getting PS Now because I want to play Uncharted and Infamous again. And then he replied to my explanation of how Game Pass works, and he says, hold up, Sony, get yourself together, you're passing you, bro. And that's the thing, is that a lot of people are just like, I just want people who are on PC to just look through the catalog of Game Pass on PC. And even with that, if there's games you were thinking about trying and you never did, just pay $10 a month. And there's all these games you have access to that you don't want to buy. And I know about Steam sales. I know Steam sales are a thing. They make your backlog. But here's the thing, is that you're basically paying $10 a month for a backlog. Yeah. Instead of paying all this Steam sale money, right? You're paying $10 a month for another backlog. Let's be real here. Yeah. But you get access to all these games, and you can download them, not stream them. If you want to stream them, that's perfectly fine. You can do that. Yeah. But it gives you the option to do that. And I think that's what Game Pass is all about. It's giving you so many different options, so many different avenues to enjoy this. Yeah. What do you think?
No, I completely agree. The fact that you can download them, like if you don't have good internet, you can just download it and then play the game. I think that's awesome, because that has been like everyone's biggest way of like saying they're not going to stream, that they are not going to get this stupid streaming service because, well, I have bad internet. So that's pointless to me. It's like, well, what are you going to say about Game Pass? Because
it's downloadable.
They let you download it. So why not?
Exactly. And Bethesda's on it. So
and Bethesda, like, hello.
So the last thing I want to put out is Andrew Orsi's great answer. And then we're going to go into closing thoughts on this subject.
Okay.
So Andrew Orsi has to say, literally, Game Pass is everything. Game Pass is why I would put Microsoft ahead of Sony heading into next console gen, honestly. I like like it seems like many others are here, I'm a PlayStation gal. I've had every PlayStation and never had an Xbox at all growing up. The Xbox One has been my first Microsoft console. So I have far more investment in PlayStation Series, etc., and very little in Xbox franchises. But bruh, the games that show up on Game Pass are significantly better than the overall PS Now catalog I've seen. And here's the important thing. He says a couple things here. It has let me play The Witcher 3, the Yakuza series, the Kingdom Hearts series, and a whole bunch of indies which are absolute gems. Which, by the way, Descenders, I've been playing a lot of that. Check that game out if you're on Game Pass. I love Descenders now. And I've been able to work my way into a few Xbox franchises, like Gears of War, because it offers the full series. It's such a good model, and even as an infrequent Xbox player, I use it enough per month for it to be well worth the price.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. If you use it enough, it's worth it. And I think $15 a month for your gaming your gaming budget, right? It's great. Plus, lots of new, if not all, first-party Xbox releases are promised to be on the service day one. Outriders, which is a game coming out April 1st, day one on Game Pass. Not an Xbox franchise, but I'd like to point that out. So it essentially means I never have to buy a new Xbox game, and yet I still have access to them. Even with my balls-slow internet, sure, it takes a day or two to download a game, but I've had a beautiful time with Game Pass, and I really think Sony is losing the race right now just on this service. And that's the thing. I want Game Pass on PlayStation. I want Game Pass on Switch. I think it is truly the answer when we're talking about buying games at $70 price points.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Games are getting too expensive.
Yeah.
I'm getting too poor. But I think that if it were to be the case, I hope that Life is Strange True Colors comes on Game Pass day one. Who knows? But that's the thing, is that there's a lot of games that actually come out day one on the service, including Outriders.
Yeah.
That's coming out, including Starfield. Starfield will be day one.
Day one.
Halo Infinite, day one. You don't have to buy a new... It's not like a Premier Access into it. Now, like what Disney Plus does with their stupid Premier Access into dumb movies that shouldn't be a Premier Access for $30.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's just jump into closing thoughts here.
Okay.
Keep it a little bit short. You know, there's not much more to say, but what do you think about closing thoughts?
I and again, just like everyone in our Discord, I'm a PlayStation person. I love PlayStation. I love games on PlayStation. But this isn't, to me, Game Pass isn't an Xbox thing anymore.
Yeah.
They want to reach out. They want gamers to just have more access to games. And that includes a cheaper price, because not everyone has a ton of money.
Yeah.
Like, not many people have a ton of money.
Yeah. Right.
So I just think it's a great product. I think that PlayStation and Nintendo should get off their high horses and agree to have Game Pass be usable on their consoles, and it could all just be a really peaceful world. But I think it's great. I mean, maybe for someone like me who only plays like one game a year, maybe might not be the best for them. But I'm interested in games. I don't have the time or energy to invest in learning new games. But if I had all the time in the world, this would be a great thing for me, because I can try new games, and if I end up hating it, I didn't waste $70 on playing the first 20 minutes of a game that I don't like.
Exactly. I found that a lot from games. Just experimenting with Game Pass. It's just like, oh, I wanted to try this game. I'll check it out. And if sometimes I don't like it, I'm like, well, like Control. Control came on Game Pass. I was always interested in it. I didn't vibe with it. Yeah. And I was so glad that I played it on Game Pass instead of buying the game. It's like, oh.
And then finding out you hate it.
Exactly. Maybe Control won't always be on Game Pass. And if I did like it, I can buy it for a cheaper price. But yeah, I tried it out. Didn't really like it. Moved on to another game. You know? And then I started experimenting with indie games. Landed on Descenders. Descenders is fantastic. Yeah. Love Descenders. And I found that through Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
It's just an experimentation kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I guess my closing thoughts on this is that when we're talking about finances for the future, when we're talking about adulthood, when we're talking about we're really starting to really go dime by dime here, setting a budget, right? As a growing adult, saving up, I think Game Pass is one of those things that needs to be part of the future.
Yeah.
And if not Game Pass, PlayStation needs to come out with their own service.
That is equal to it.
Exactly.
That can actually compete with it.
Exactly. I thought a lot of people thought it was that PlayStation Plus thing. Remember that one thing when they did the reveal and they had like a category of like 20 PlayStation games you can purchase into? And people thought that was a Game Pass competitor. I think Sony came out and said, no, it's not a Game Pass competitor.
Yeah, I do remember something like that.
Yeah, so they need to come out with a Game Pass competitor because this should be the way of the future. This should be a thing where it's like, okay, $10 a month, and it's legitimately like Game Pass.
And it wouldn't be that hard. And all they would have to do at this point is just like tweak now.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
That's it. And that's the thing. I think Game Pass should come to PlayStation and Nintendo because their service, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And if it's only a third-party game, so be it.
Yeah.
It's great. Just put it on there. Also put on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 Remaster so more people can play it and more people can talk to me about it and I don't have to be alone in this world. But those are my closing thoughts.
Yeah.
I think Game Pass is the answer to next-gen prices. I think it should be offered on all consoles. I think that Life is Strange True Colors should be on a Nintendo Switch, but it's not coming to the Nintendo Switch. It would be great. But yeah, so those are my thoughts. So any other thoughts before we go?
I don't think so. I think we covered them all.
I think so. So thank you to all who answered on the social media pages and on Discord. We appreciate you greatly. And I think we'll just end the episode there.
Okay.
So if you enjoyed this episode, definitely hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when all these episodes come out. We also do another episode, another podcast called What's the Biz, where me and Liz just talk just about anything. Description is in the link is in the description down below. And keep your eyes peeled for a new show called Strange Cast. It's a great time I had with Adnan, so check that out. We also have a secondary YouTube channel called eVault. New videos should be coming out in the near future.
At one point.
It's on the way. But so let's just end the episode here. So thanks again for listening. I hope you had a great time. We hope to find you next week. And just remember to keep striving and keep gaming. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.